I first came to Palm Beach in the 40s as a schoolboy for a penny on a double-decker bus. So I have travelled here over those years. I attended the opening of the Mona Vale bus depot, and I came here in a double-decker Atlantean bus with the then Minister for Transport, Milton Morris, and Bob Askin opened the bus depot. I've been Minister for Transport, and I did the bus review for the Carr government in 2003. And in the bus review, I recommended that they set up bus corridors and they put up frequent service buses. So having done all that, I can't argue with the B line as a bus service. But there are aspects to the B line that we have to safeguard against. And the real concern that I have is that the B line to Mona Vale is a Trojan horse. And the 20th of March this year is the day that they deposited the Trojan horse in Mona Vale. Those of you that were involved in the Mona Vale plan will know what they have in mind for Mona Vale. The administrator from the eastern suburbs said, "This place is dead at night. We need to bring more life to Mona Vale." Well, we don't want King's Cross in Mona Vale. That's very clear. We're very happy with the way things are at the present moment. And I pay tribute to those pioneers of this area who back in the days of Warringah Council fought to separate the northern beaches from Warringah and establish the Pittwater Council. And for many years we've enjoyed the benefits of having our own council, and we've enjoyed the benefits of having local people elected to that council looking after the interests of the people who live in this part of the northern beaches. But that's all been taken away from us. The bad government with their amalgamation of councils on the northern beaches has taken that away from us. And they've done it in every other part of the state, except the country areas. After they lost the Orange by-election, they then realised we better hold off in the country. But they didn't stop. They didn't stop in the city. And one would have thought that when Baird went, that Gladys would have taken another view of that proposal, but she hasn't been allowed to by the conservative forces that are behind her. She's kept the amalgamations going. Who benefits from those amalgamations in larger councils? Ask yourself. It's the developers. It's the people, the money interests that come to these areas that want to make money out of us. 20 Bungan Street is only the start. If you complained about 20 Bungan Street 20 or 30 years ago, wait until we're surrounded here by 6-storey buildings and more. I was just saying a little while ago, I grew up in Canterbury. I've only been here for 20 years on the northern beaches, but I grew up in Canterbury. And when I go back to Canterbury and Campsie and see the development, the overdevelopment that has taken place on Canterbury Road, it breaks my heart. And who caused that? Canterbury Council. Now you've got to ask yourself, why? Well, of course, they've been dismissed. And that's probably the only council I agree with that's been dismissed because of what they've done along Canterbury Road. And if you really want to see what the future of Mona Vale could be, go to Canterbury, go to Campsie and see what's happening. That is the future. We don't want that in Mona Vale. So while we're here today, I think it's important that you go home and you mark on your calendars 20th of March, because that's the day that the Trojan horse arrived in Mona Vale. Now what we have to do into the future is come together as a group. Forget your politics. Politics has got nothing to do with what happens here in Mona Vale. We have to come together and ensure that in September, when a council is elected for the northern beaches, that we get people on that council who are interested in the well-being of the people who live here. Not the people who are fronting for developers, who are only interested in making money out of overdevelopment. So they're the issues that we've got to consider today. And I'm glad that we've been able to get people together today at such short notice, because you all indicate that you're concerned about what's happening in your area. Now, I was asked about what is happening for people who live north of Mona Vale. Does the B line stop here? Well, at the present time, there's no indication from anything that I've read they're going to change the L90 and the L88. People will still be coming down from north of Mona Vale on those services. But have a look at the document. Have a look at the B line. There's a dotted line. a dotted line heading in the direction of Newport. And quite frankly, if the people in Newport and Avalon think they've been spared, have another thought, because once you get the beeline to here, it's a very simple issue to take it further north. I remember as Minister for Transport, someone said to me, you can't get bendy buses through the Avalon, through the Bilgola Bends. That's what they said. Well, they're getting through there, just a few little adjustments. Now, these double-decker buses that they're proposing, they'll give you a nice ride. You'll be able to see the view from upstairs if you can get a seat, because that's the issue. When I attended the first meeting here in Mona Vale, when we were talking about this project, I pointed out, why are you stopping at Manly Vale? And they said, because there are people there who want to travel. I said, if the people at Manly Vale want to travel, let them get the other buses, because if they get on at Wynyard and take up a seat, they'll be sitting there from Manly Vale onwards, and the people from the northern beaches will be standing up because there's no need for them to stop at Manly Vale. How is that going to improve the timetable if they add another stop? This thing hasn't been properly thought out. The people that turned up that first night here, I said to them, have you read the Unsworth report, the one I did in 2003? We've never heard of it. I thought, well, what sort of researchers are you? Like, you come here to the northern beaches, you don't live here, you don't travel on the buses like we do, and you're going to do all these plans for us. So there are deficiencies in the current beeline proposal, but quite frankly, there's nothing you can do. This is like down here, all the plants are in Park Street. This will be like the invasion of Normandy over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And my only concern is they get it all done before Anzac Day, because it'll be disgrace to the Pittwater RSL if they can't come down here on Anzac Day without all this rubbish in their sight. So that, friends, I'm glad you're all here today. I think today is the day where we've got to start to ensure that in the campaign that leads to the election of the Northern Beaches Council, we get people from amongst you who are concerned about the issues that affect us living here. Elect the right people of that council and make sure that the developers don't get hold of Manly Vale, Mona Vale, as they have done with other locations in Sydney. Thanks for coming along. It's going to start raining, which is something that the people who get off the bus line, the beeline bus here, will enjoy. If they get off on a wet day, they'll have to walk through the park in the rain.
Could I ask for 3 cheers for Barry?
Thank you, thank you. Well,
so Barry, can we say, so what do you say, from now on, what do you recommend that we do? Is it worth writing to any, what should we do?
I think the Save Mona Vale group have got to stick together. They've got to get as many people as possible involved, and you've got to ensure that in the run-up to the election of the Northern Beaches Council, we get the right people elected, people who are concerned for the community. There are long-serving councillors here present today. They can advise. But I think we can't just sit back. We can't just look at the computer and see, whoa, isn't that terrible? We've got to get involved. And at least they've given us 6 months' notice to get involved and ensure that the campaign is successful and we get people elected who are going to look after us. That's the answer.
Barry, as a former Premier, do you consider there's any chance of people regaining its independence?
There are a lot of people who are very unhappy. I mean, you talk to the good citizens of Hunters Hill, well, Mossman, Hunters Hill, all those places, they're not happy. If Manly and Mossman fell over because of the amalgamations there, and we've got a candidate here with us, if that happened, I'm sure Gladys would be having a very big rethink.
Yes.
And that there should be some coordination between the opposition groups who are opposed to their amalgamations to try and get the whole thing turned over in the metropolitan area. That was happening, but if you recall at the time, the council administrators and the public servants running the council all got promoted into high-paying jobs. They said, oh no, it's too late, we've sort of changed all the paperwork. Well, it's not too late. It was never too late to set Pittwater up.
Can I just say one thing before I go? I am standing as an independent candidate in the seat of North Shore. I am on Mossman Council. Every single time the government has made a change on the forced council amalgamation issue, it's been a political decision. Walker was exempt because Barnaby Joyce got involved. Cabon and Oberon were exempt because Phil Donato from the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers won that election. We believe in the North Shore. Mossman, North Sydney Council are stridently against forced amalgamation. If we can get an independent up and shake that tree and get right on top of the government, there is a chance that this will be another political decision. The whole thing has been political. We know that from day one. It's nothing about better services and better this and better that. It's all political. It's all about big development.
In future, getting off the bus here, you will be wet. You'll get your feet wet. They might put an extra path or two through here to make it easy, but as we see it now, it'll be gone forever. And where is the pickup point? If you want somebody to meet you at the bus stop along here, is there any arrangement? I haven't had any information to say that we're going to have a pickup point here for cars, for passengers in this park. There's nothing planned at all. They expect you to walk across Pittwater Road, across Park Street, and away from the area to get a lift.
What's happening to people at Avalon? Are they having to change buses here?
We don't know. It's all cabinet in confidence at the moment.
No, but look, they will keep the L88 and the L90 going.
Will they?
Well,
yeah.
But what if you look at all this stuff online? There's a dotted line north of Mona Vale. They will run the thing up to Newport and Avalon, and they will do the same job they're doing here on your infrastructure up there. Because they'll have plans for Newport, they'll have plans for Avalon, but you'll be just down the track.
Yeah.
So, but in the short term, in the medium term, you'll have the buses that we've been giving to Palm Beach for as long as I've been alive.
I make the point that this group is not really indicative of the huge amount of anger in the area. It's a work day, so a lot of people are at work and it was short notice. So don't think that this is an indication of the extent of the anger. Pittwater is furious about this.
I had 8,000 hits just last night on my Facebook site.
I know this is a separate topic, but it is linked to the anger in the area. My mother, Dr. Daly, fought very hard to save Mona Vale Hospital. Obviously there wasn't, how do we get our voices heard more? How do we actually make something happen? Because they're just laughing. They referred to us Northern Beaches people as not knowing what's good for us.
Yes.
Who do they think we are? We don't know what's good for us. So this has gone out of the area. Are these politicians even linked to the Northern Beaches? They don't care. They want to destroy it. It's about money. I know Caroline said it was about politics, but what is politics? Is that different from business? How much money are they getting under the table? No, it needs to be heard. How do we get our voices out there?
I used to be Minister for Health as well.
Okay.
But today I'm Minister for Transport. This is a more pressing issue, what we've got here.
Absolutely.
Today.
My mum told me to be here. I wish she could have been here. I'm very passionate about
work,
it.
isn't she?
She's at work saving lives. I wish there was more people from my age group here. I want to make more noise. I want to get out there on my Facebook page. I'll do whatever it takes. We need to stop it. Seriously. I'm going to do it.
What's the likelihood that this B-line will become a privatised service and Mona Vale bus depot be collapsed and we only have Brookvale?
If I was putting money on it, I would say that they're going to privatise the B-line. And you've got Mr. Felinski down the road who said putting the B-line in the charge of the Mona Vale State Transit Authority would be like putting Dracula in charge of the blood bank. Yeah. Well, that shows how much he knows, and I'd like to see him on the L90. I've never laid eyes on him. In fact, I've only seen Gladys on the bus since she got elected. I mean, as a former politician, I can tell you, you get votes if you travel on public transport. So as far as Felinski is concerned, he better get on the bus. Because I'd like to run a campaign, bring back Bronwyn. Well, I think we've done enough.
Bring back Barry.
But someone made a good point. Someone made a good point. We should reconvene this meeting on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Now while the bulldozers are hot, I'd be happy to come back next Saturday and rerun today's meeting to a larger group.
Yeah.
And the main thing is get the message out. Now the Manly Daily's here, so if they could indicate to the constituency out here that we're going to have a big protest meeting here next Saturday morning at whatever time you decide, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Let's come back together on Saturday and let's show the Northern Beaches how many people are angry.
Yeah.
The boss is speaking.
I love the boss.
What I want to know is the meeting on Saturday going to be just about the bee line, or is it going to include the overdevelopment that you would expect of Mona Vale from that meeting?
I think clearly that's the issue, Pauline. It's got to be, the bee line is just the start of what they're trying to do to Mona Vale.
And that's
Well,
what
the
people
bulldozing
need
of
to be
Mona
aware
Vale
of.
Hospital, nobody knows about it. The Manly Daily hasn't even printed that Rod Stokes is bulldozing the hospital to the ground.
Right, well,
So if that could be included, yes, he's bulldozing the hospital to the ground.
thank you all for coming today.
Yes, well, I know someone who might.
And the transport up to the Manly Daily?
Just hang on. This is the Manly Daily. Where do you want to be?
If you would mind
I'll
standing
stand
there,
here,
then I'll get everybody
Don't
behind you.
move, don't move.